Baba is talking about not wasting our time. Now you see that this whole idea of not wasting your time is related to deeper understanding of, what time is it and what you need to do at this time. Because you see that if somebody just walked up to you and asked whether a particular action accounts as wasting time, it would be very difficult to give an answer to that if you don't have the context of the person who is asking that. Let's say a child walks up to you and asks, is going and playing in the field wasting time? Then what is the answer? Is it yes or no? And then the child tells you tomorrow is the exam. Then you say yes, today that's called wasting time. But otherwise that's not called wasting time. And also, if the child says tomorrow is the exam, but I have to go and play for half an hour or 1 hour, then that's not wasting time. But if he says I have to play all day, then that's wasting time. So it all depends on your understanding of what time it is. And this is why today's Murli is about the drama wheel. So Baba has given us the knowledge of time. And Baba has told us that right now, so you remember the picture of the drama wheel? So Srishti Chakra, and you must be having it on your phone also because during the course it is shared. So in that picture you have the whole knowledge that it is a 5,000 year cycle. And it is divided into half happiness and half sorrow. And it was happiness for Satyug and Treta Yug, and that went up to 1 to 2,500 years. And then from the Copper Age until the Iron Age, which is Dwapar Yug to Kali Yug, there was sorrow. And why was there sorrow? Because right from the beginning of Copper Age, we start committing sin. And what is sin? So sin is acts committed under the influence of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. Yes, so there is a way in the world in which acts of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed are glorified, and that is why you don't count that as sins for very long. For example, you see, when somebody is engaging in lust, then what do? You make the parents bless them, and you have a big ceremony of celebration, and then it looks like something very pure and pious, and then you feel like something great is happening, and it's an event to celebrate and congratulate. And that's the thing about glorification. If you glorify anything, it starts looking like a very desirable and very beautiful and pure event. And just look at violence in the name of war. So when violence in the name of war is glorified in the guise of patriotism and nationalism, so when people say that this is about loving your country and this is about loving your nation, and then you're just killing for your country and you will go to heaven because of that, then you feel like killing is the most desirable act to do, and killing is the most, what do you say, most pure act to engage in. And this is how it is done. So, everything is glorified in Ravan Rajya. And that is why you see even ego and obeisance. So if somebody is being rude to you, then you see when we are children and some elder is rude to us, then it is said that the elders being rude is a form of blessing. So and then it is glorified like that, and then you think that being trampled all over because of someone's ego and anger is a form of blessing. And then you are confused for halfway of your life, and until you figure out, you are so hurt and traumatized that you can do nothing about it. So this is how it is done. So but we don't realize it, and we only do what we see. So we see people engaging in lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, and then we think that you have to earn it. You have to earn the license to be lustful and angry and egoistic. And if you are powerful and if you are in a great position, and then, or if you are a soldier, then you will be allowed these things. And then you desire for those positions so that you can do everything and get away with it, and it doesn't count as a wrong thing to do. So you wait for the marriage license to be lustful, you wait for the the license to shout and scream at people because you're in a big position. So you wait for all these things, and this also becomes part of your plan to become great and big. So this whole thing continues for 2 yugas, and we don't see anything wrong with being lustful, angry, egoistic, greedy, and attachment is glorified badly. And yes, so people think that when you're crying in somebody's absence and you're feeling lonely and missing somebody, that's love. And then the aches and pains that you're feeling, they are a part of the process of love, and then it is glorified as love. So you keep doing all of this, and however much you read, in the Shastras also they say, if you search the term vice on Google, they will tell you lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed are vices. But then it doesn't sit in your buddhi. So you keep doing that thing, and you also know that this is a vice, but you don't know that what you're doing is a vice. You know that lust, anger, ego, attachment and greed are vices, but what you are doing is perfectly okay according to social standards, so that is not a vice. So only those who are maybe crossing the line according to social standards, that is a vice, but not yours, because you are perfectly within the line. Yes, so this is how it gets amplified. And it is strange that when Baba tells us that for 63 births you keep engaging in vices, then sometimes you wonder, why didn't I ever have a wake-up call? But this is how it happens. It is glorified so much in the name of religious and social institutions, that you think that this is okay and this is actually the right thing to do. Yes, so it is right for somebody to shout at you, and it is right for you to take that and internalize it, but not protest against it, or not even protest. It is right to take sorrow and give sorrow, but you should only be in the right position to do that. If you're in the wrong position and you do that, then it's wrong. But if you're in the right position, then you can give sorrow, take sorrow, And that's perfectly okay. So this is how it continues. And then Baba tells us that now I come and I awaken you. And now I also tell you about the time that the clock is ticking, and now you have to go back home and you have to come back to the pure world. And Baba says both the worlds are pure. Your home is a pure world, and the new world that you have to come back to is a pure world. And this is why this time, this confluence age, so in the drama wheel, there is a clear demarcation of the confluence age. And Baba says this is a very tiny little piece of time where you have to completely transform yourself from this vicious state to a completely pure state, so that you can go back home and come back to the new world that is pure. And Baba says that when you understand this, what is the call of time, when you understand it, you get it, then not wasting time means spending your time, spending every second in imbibing knowledge, imbibing virtues, accumulating yoga power, because it is through yoga that the burden of sins will be removed. Yes, so do you understand that in the whole wide world, we are the only souls who know how to have yoga with Baba? Because when you talk about yoga in the world, people will tell you that chanting a name is yoga, or having yoga with the Brahma element is yoga. Yes, but Baba says no, that is not yoga. Because the principle of yoga is you become like the one you have yoga with. So if you want to become pure, if you want to become peaceful, if you want to become happy, how do you become that? Only when you have yoga with the ocean of purity, ocean of peace, ocean of happiness, ocean of love. So Baba says that until you recognize me, until you know who I am, until you experience me as I am and have yoga with me, you cannot change into the knowledgeful, peaceful, loveful, pure, blissful, powerful soul that you were. And Baba says you are the only souls who know who Baba is and know how to have yoga with Baba. Is there anybody in the class who doesn't know how to have yoga with Baba? No, yes. So Baba is a point of light, and the quality of that point of light is, so Baba is not a bulb light or a laser light. Baba is a point of light, but he is a point of light and an ocean of love, ocean of peace, ocean of purity. So just like you see, when you see a picture, so let's say you are seeing the picture of your child in the album. Now when you look at that picture, you connect with the physical image of the child and the quality of the child, and you have a smile on your face, right? Because you are connecting your buddhi with the quality of the child also. But when somebody else looks at the picture of your child, they only see the form of the child. They don't know the quality of the child. And now if the child is standing with a very angry face, then the other person will not smile. But you will smile because you know the quality of your child. So Baba says that, when you recognize me as I am, and now that Baba is giving us so much sustenance. So you see, sometimes when I ask Baba's children, where do you experience Baba? So they tell me that we experience Baba in yoga. But that's not true. You experience Baba not in yoga. You experience Baba when Baba becomes your father, teacher and Satguru and gives you palna and sustenance in Sangam Yuga. Yes, who is the one who is teaching you every day? Who is the one who is making you understand every day? Who is the one who is removing your sorrow and making you recognize what is the root of your sorrow? Who is the one giving you the courage and the strength to move from sorrow to happiness? When you recognize that Baba is giving you so much sustenance, maybe there's an instrument, there's a center, all of that, but even that, the key for that instrument lies with Baba. No instrument is doing it on their own. So Baba is the one giving me all this love, this care, this study, this teaching, this sustenance. And when you understand, do you understand that nobody in the world, not even physical parents, will talk to you for 45 minutes, 1 hour every day? Will they do that? Nobody will. But Baba talks to us every day for an hour through the Murli. Baba sits with us, and although he has spoken about something yesterday, he knows my child has not got it, and with the same love he will speak about it again today, and he will again encourage me to take that one step which I couldn't take yesterday. So this much of sustenance when you receive from Baba, then you recognize Baba. You recognize Baba practically, because Baba practically becomes the father, teacher and Satguru. And when you recognize him practically, then when you sit in yoga, you are connecting with that father who has come in Sangam Yuga and is giving you so much of sustenance. This father is not an idea that is living in the soul world and you're trying to figure out who he is or what he is like by connecting to him in the soul world. No, he is the father who has come practically, and he has given you so much of love and sustenance, and he is giving you so much of guidance, and that father you are connecting with in the soul world. And when you have that yoga with Baba, when you have that love for the ocean of love, when you have that love for the ocean of purity, then that is called yoga. And yoga is not a technique. Yoga is a connection of love. And you cannot have yoga with anyone without having love, because where there is no love, the connect of yoga will snap. So if you want to connect with Baba just technically, so is a point and there's an overflowing ocean and you're just focusing on the image and you don't appreciate what Baba is doing for you practically, then you cannot have a lot of yoga with Baba, because that connection, that link with Baba is sustained through love. So Baba says that when you recognize me, when you recognize how I have come from the soul world and how I have taken the chariot of Brahma Baba and how I have adopted you and how I am taking care of you, and you recognize that yes, this is the Supreme Father, Supreme Teacher, Supreme Satguru, then you have that kind of love and connection with me that you can sustainedly draw power from me. And when you sit in yoga with Baba in such a merged state, so Baba says that when your yoga is intense, continuous, then it transforms your sanskars and your burden of sins is removed, you accumulate an income and your battery is charged when you have that kind of yoga. So Baba says that this is what you have to do in Sangam Yuga, and you cannot afford to waste time, because time and thought are related. So if you're not having yoga with Baba, then you're wasting your time, because you're wasting your thoughts, so you're wasting your time. Now you see, everybody in the world says, I'm very busy, I'm very busy, very busy. But the problem is, people have a lot of time to waste. And this is why there's so much of social media, and the amount of things that are watched on the internet and all of that stuff. Why is that happening? Because actually you have a lot of free time and thought. And Baba says, I'm not stopping you from doing your necessary karma. Baba doesn't tell us don't go to office. Baba doesn't tell us leave your children, don't cook food for them. So Baba says do all of that, but you still have a lot of time and mental space. Yes. And Baba says use all that time and mental space to remember me. And when you remember me, and then second thing Baba tells us to do is churn knowledge. Now you see that the points of knowledge are new things that Baba tells us, whether it is about the knowledge of the cycle, whether it is about the knowledge of how the different religions come and how they spread their wings and how this whole civilization grows. So about all this knowledge, or just about the eternity of the soul, or that the soul takes 84 births, or that Baba lives in the soul world for 2500 years and does nothing, and then for the next 2500 years Baba just gives experiences and visions to bhakts, and then he comes in Sangam Yug. So Baba says that about all this knowledge, you need to churn on this knowledge, because you see that until and unless you churn on this knowledge will not change into your attitude and perception. So, or about the drama being accurate. So I will tell you from my experience, it took me a lot of time to understand that the cause and effect theory that we have been taught is not true. And the thing is that everything happens according to drama plan. And you see that in the world, we are always taught that if you do something right, the result will be right. And if you do something wrong, the result will be wrong. And then what happens is, you do everything right and then you get a bad result. And then you do everything wrong and then you get a good result. And then you're very confused. So what's happening? What's going on? But Baba tells us that, you have to just, in Sangam Yug, know that you have to do what Baba tells you to do. Rest, everything is drama. See, you can be a very good meditator. You can be a yogi. You can be pure. You can follow every Srimad of Baba. But that doesn't mean you will not face challenges. You will not face defamation. You will not face obstacles. And Baba says that don't take it personally. It's just a scene in the drama. And you have to, and don't read into it. So we start reading into the scenes of the drama. This is bad, this is good, I didn't like this, I like this. But Baba says no, every scene is Kalyankari. Just know that it is Kalyankari and don't label it. Don't think that this is good, this is bad, or this should have happened, this shouldn't have happened. Don't do all of that. Just keep following Srimad, keep doing your thing, and just don't think about what is happening. But it takes a lot of time for you to get to that place, because you need to churn on this. And it took me around 10 years to come to this, this deep realization that actually everything that I'm doing and everything that's happening to me are not connected. And I don't have to take it personally, because you see, when something goes wrong, there are 100 people trying to tell you that you did something wrong, so this happened wrong. And when something goes right, then there are 100 people telling you, congratulating you that you did something right, so this happened right. But you don't have to fall into the trap of either. You have to understand that I'm doing my karma according to drama, and whatever is happening according to drama, and they are not connected. But if you fall into this trap that something good is happening because I did something, and then you will fall into the trap that something bad is happening because I did something wrong. And it takes a lot of time to get it. So, you intellectually get it in 7 days, but you don't really get it. And and how do you know you don't get it? Because you're still affected. You're still affected by failures, by defamation, by losses. So, and then you start thinking about what caused this, and whether, this could be avoided. And all these thoughts are waste thoughts, because these thoughts come from body consciousness, these thoughts come from ignorance. But it takes a long time to come to this place where you imbibe the points of knowledge. And Baba says that knowledge means something only when you imbibe it. And you have to churn a lot about why Baba says I'm a pure soul when I have such deep impure sanskars. And then you have to realize that despite the impure sanskars, what draws you is purity. And then you have to have that faith that I am indeed a pure soul. And yes, I have to overcome all these sanskars and burn my sins and all of that stuff, but I am a pure soul. I am a successful soul. Yes, so Vijay is my success, is my birthright. So despite whatever happened and however much I imbibed it, I have to have that faith that, because Baba chose me after all of this, so that is the first sign of success. And what can Baba's child not do? Yes, so when I have the qualification to be Baba's child, then I have the qualification to be anyone and everyone in the world. Yes, so Baba says that these kinds of things, Baba gives us many swamans, but you need to really churn on them and come to that place where you imbibe it. Because until and unless you spend your time and thought in churning knowledge, you cannot imbibe knowledge. So Baba says being knowledgeful or being an embodiment of knowledge will happen when you churn on knowledge. You have to spend your time and thought in yoga. You have to spend your time, energy in connecting with Baba. And then you also have to keep checking your sanskars. You have to check how loveful are you becoming. How peaceful are you becoming? How happy are you becoming? And how do you check that? So you see, sometimes you give yourself a certificate that I was very loveful today. But why? Because everybody was loveful to you. Or you were with the person who loves you. But check when the circumstances are not favorable. So check how peaceful you are in the chaotic circumstances. Check how happy you can be when there are 100 reasons to lose your happiness. And when you check for that, when you check whether you are always loveful, even if somebody is doing totally against your way and your wish, can you be loveful to that soul? Or do you start giving sorrow to that one? Do you start passing comments? Do you start being judgmental? Do you start giving them that drishti of dismissing them? So Baba says that keep checking for your virtues also. And when you see that there is a lack of virtue, then what do? You connect with the ocean of virtue and draw in that virtue from Baba. So connect with the ocean of love, take love from Baba, and appreciate and acknowledge how Baba loves you unconditionally always. Yes, and when you have appreciation and acknowledgement for Baba's unconditional love, then you can give that same love to everyone. So, because you see, we give what we receive. So, the more you receive virtues from Baba, the more you will be able to give them in your interactions. So, Baba says that this is the exercises that you have to engage in all day. You know, drawing virtues from Baba, reflecting on points of knowledge, having yoga with Baba, and most important and fourth point, sharing knowledge with others, sharing points of knowledge with others. And Baba says that, you know, whatever you donate will increase. And there was somebody who was telling me the other day that, who do I share knowledge with? I don't have anybody who listens to me. And there's nobody I can really share knowledge with, because nobody is interested in listening to knowledge. So I said, do you have a Facebook page? Do you have an Instagram? Do you have a Twitter page? He said, yes. So I said, just take out 20 points from everyday Murli and write it down and post it there. You have shared it. So why don't you take that exercise of, you know, taking out points from everyday's Murli and just making a note of it and posting it on YouTube, because you see the YouTube comment section, I've told you to post the points. Yes, so just write whatever you understood from the Murli, and when you make a note of it, then you will be able to remember it better. And when you post it, you see, whoever reads it will give you the wishes. And you know, I know many people who don't listen to the Murli, they go straight to the comment section and just read the points, and then they know what was there in today's Murli. So you have donated that knowledge in that form, and Baba says do that exercise every day. And Baba tells us the one who donates never runs out of wealth. So if you every day make a note of what today's Murli says and what Baba tells in the Murli today, and you make a whole note and point wise you share it with everybody. If you can verbally share it, okay. If you can't, then use any platform and just share it. Then you will know that slowly, gradually, these points will start sitting in your memory and you will not forget them. So these are the things that Baba tells us to do in Sangam Yug, and not waste our time, because Baba says whatever else you do, that's a waste of time. Whatever else you do in Sangam Yug, apart from, you see, the Karam Bandhan, because you know, earning your money or taking care of the children and the family that you have, that is your Karam Bandhan, that you have to settle. So you have to do the needful in that case. But apart from that, everything else is wasteful. So don't do that and do this. And then second thing today, which is very interesting, Baba told us that death for the prey and kill for the hunter, or so Baba says that when there will be this massive destruction and so many people will die, then you will be in happiness and peace. You will not faint, you will not be sorrowful by seeing so many deaths. Yes, so sometimes, it's very difficult to understand Baba's points, because Baba tells us that many people just faint when they see blood and they see a person being operated. So, because you see, just think about a person being operated. When somebody is being operated, they are getting better, right? If you didn't operate them, they would die. So why does that blood which comes out when somebody is getting better make you faint? That's quite illogical. Are you fainting at the prospect of they getting better? So that's the whole bizarre idea. So you see, people say that death is a bad thing and you should be sorrowful when people die. But Baba says, this is the world of sorrow and we should be sorrowful living in this world. But when we leave this world, it's a cause for happiness. And Baba says, now that you know the time and you know that, now when we leave the body, we will go back home and we will come back to the new world, then you are leaving the sorrowful world and going to a world of peace and happiness. So that should make you happy, not sad. And this is the thing about this paradox of death. So Baba tells us that people just know that death is always bad. But Baba tells us that death is just a change of costume. And if you're changing your costume and taking a better one, then leaving this costume is a good idea. So when you see that this final scene is coming through and then, then you will go back home and you're going back to the world of happiness, then you will be very happy. But other people will be crying because out of ignorance they cry whenever there is death. And I remember there was this one person and he was very ill and he stayed in coma for 3 months. And when he died, his family was crying badly. And I told them, why are you crying? He was suffering and he was in so much pain. And now he is out of that body and maybe his karmic account is settled and he'll get a better body now. So why are you in pain if he left a body that was causing so much trouble to that soul? So you see that this is what Baba is telling us in the Murli, that it is death for the prey and it is happiness for the hunter. So we are the souls who know that we are going to the soul world and going to world of happiness, and this is just a stepping stone to it. So we are not unhappy seeing the final scenes of the drama. Okay, Om Shanti.